This is Sybert signing into Kane's Wrath on the map. Forgotten Dunes. We have got ourselves another 2v2 on the left side, kicking it as the cyan marked of Kane. This is Futurama. Their ally as the yellow GDI, it's Senna. Ooh, Senna going for a refinery first. A spicy, spicy move. Now, of course, let's see on the right side what the composition is going to be as the green marked of Kane. This is space. And as the red, this is BikeRushOwnz. Also plain marked of Kane. So we have got a very cool game, and I say that because the replay was just called, like, Cool 2v2 or something like that. So if you are a very cool e-gamer, I think you will enjoy this very cool match, featuring 3 marked of Kane factions. I am curious to see exactly how this will go. Now, we do have a couple of marked of Kane awakened heading across the map for some early, I'm guessing, EMP shenanigans by space. Will it be a big blunder, or will it be a big, delicious EMP mess? We will find out. First EMP going to be locking down that refinery, disrupting this harvester. EMP locks down the shredder turret as well, just delaying the killing off of these units. And perfect EMP on that refinery. It freezes the harvester in place for a couple of seconds there. And finally, the last of the awakened squads will get cleaned up. Now, the EMP reset does take a little while. Beautiful EMPs actually firing off on the right side of the map. That one catching the war factory and the refinery at the same time. BikeRushOwnz getting himself amped by his opponents, and look at this, bikes and a buggy waiting in the south. BikeRushOwnz is so ready that he's going to be able to catch this MCV. Oh, finally it packs up, but the riflemen are inside of that APC. They're here to lock down these. Oh, can the EMPs land? No, they miss. The MCV gets unpacked, but the APC will go down. Goodbye, riflemen, as these bikes and buggies going to be trying to push back this attack. And you can see the wheels turning. The strategy attempted by BikeRushOwnz and missed by mere inches. BikeRushOwnz, oh, that's a refinery placement. BikeRushOwnz nearly won the game, or gained for his team a significant advantage by killing the MCV as it was transferring to the natural expansion. As a result, he has indeed delayed the natural expansion of the team on the left side, earning his team a significant boost to the economy for the next couple of minutes. Refineries are up, ready to go. Meanwhile, Futurama misplaced his refinery way up there, which will get him the first load of Tiberium a little bit faster than everyone else. By everyone else, I really just mean his ally, Senna. But actually, the new refinery placement is just fine, so Futurama will indeed, we're going to see a lot of that today. Futurama will indeed be able to stabilize and continue on from this point forward. Just a little bit weaker between Futurama and Senna against BikeRushOwnz and Space. We saw that EMP whiff over here, and that's going to be happening a lot with a triple mock lineup in this game. Lots of whiffed EMPs. It'll, maybe even sometimes it'll look like I'm controlling the EMPs, and that's how bad they will whiff. But, as we've already seen, I think we're going to see some more spicy EMPs really landing and doing some critical or almost critical damage to the, well, both teams, I suppose, since there is double mock on one team. The advantage may swing into the favor of Space and BikeRushOwnz, but they've already got a bit of an advantage in the economy, so it's really just about maintaining that edge, maintaining that lead. Space going to be building some holograms for himself, heading in to the base of Futurama. First couple of, oh, he was hoping to draw the EMPs. I would be willing to bet. A couple of awakened squads spread out throughout the base. Also, I think these guys were all playing random, which means that we got a triple mock random draw out of these 4 factions, which is pretty fantastic if it was indeed all random. By the way, a big thanks to the folks who support the channel over on Patreon. I use it like a tip jar, but that's Oz Media, The Arbor, Dimitri K, Isaac H, Hendrik B, Pierce D, and Carador. Big thanks to them. That refinery is still up there, drawing the attention of these harvesters. So those are the 2 refineries for Futurama on his natural expansion. Pitbull is going to be wasting a couple of their shots on those hologram bikes, but the rest of the bikes will eventually go down. It looks like, no, it's going to be a tip vane detonation, firing off and catching a couple of these harvesters. I think the idea is to get the harvesters low with the tip vane detonation and then kill them off with the bikes and buggies. But either way, it's clicking on both sides, not quite landing as well on the Space BikeRushOwnz side of things, as only 1 refinery went down. Meanwhile, Senna lost 2 refineries, and that is extremely unfortunate. Tib Trooper is going to be clearing out the buildings and making this area a little bit safer for BikeRushOwnz to go ahead and get his harvesting online. But it's going to be Harvester versus Harvester, MCV versus MCV, and Marv versus nothing in the middle of the map for one of the contested third fields between these 2 teams. Supercharged Particle Beams has been purchased by Futurama. He has got those upgraded shredder turrets. Meanwhile, Space continuing to skirt on by the defenses of their opponents. And it looks like Harvesters lining up, a little bit too many of them at this location, and I think that's because Senna is having to long-distance harvest from all the way down here, and he's going to be refining some of them up here in the north. Harvesters getting taken out, but another refinery in the south gets sniped, and BikeRushOwnz in Space, I think, joining together in their forces to attack both in the north and in the south at the same time, sniping a refinery in the south to keep the Harvesters marching up to the north and keep them vulnerable for a little bit longer. Tibcore finishes up for Space, so he's going to get that damage boost with those bikes, and Senna wants nothing more than to just be left alone for a couple of minutes so that he can actually get out a refinery, get out a decent economy, and do something in this game. He is close to getting a Redeemer out, but not a Redeemer, a Marv Reclamator, Marv out, but it's not quite happening. 2 Redeemers we just heard spawn in. One of them is for Futurama. One of them, it looks like, is for Space, and BikeRushOwnz is not far behind either. Everyone is going to have an epic unit sooner or later, but finally, Senna has got himself up and running with this Marvesting the middle map. Contested field no longer, although what's better than 1 click? 2 clicks! As the tip vane detonation fires off, and there's the first EMP on that Marv, maybe even some magnetic mines on top of it, a repeat EMP as BikeRushOwnz is going to try and hold the line, and it's Vertigo Bombers to kill off the Marv. More EMPs as one by one the Redeemers march their way to the front lines. The team with the more EMPs may be the team that is victorious, and that might be what it comes down to. An early game advantage just being snowballed into a late game win. Senna, with so little Tiberium under his control for the majority of this game, has only a couple of Juggernauts to follow up his Marv attack with. Everything else is coming from Futurama, and a 2v1 situation is going to be hard for him to win, but Juggernauts and Avatars starting to make some headway. Can they break down the defenses of BikeRushOwnz? Vertigo Bombers coming in for another pass. They're going to get the splash damage. 2 Avatars at once, and an Obelisk taking even more damage. But the front line hasn't been broken for either team. Senna getting back into this with building blocks, with sonic emitters as well. Trying to cut off the defense and the reinforcements of our team on the right side. Futurama and Senna pushing forward. The EMPs are not enough to stop them. BikeRushOwnz in Space starting to mount a defense made of Avatars and Vertigo bombing runs as more and more Husks get sniped. EMPs continuing to rain down on both sides. They catch the Redeemer of Futurama, but there isn't enough firepower on the front line to secure the kill. Futurama will march away as the sonic emitters get ever closer to the main base of BikeRushOwnz, to that MCV that's on the front lines, as he is actually having to retreat. Perhaps a full-scale retreat will be sounded away from this contested third field. Tib Vapor Bomb to try and clear the ground, and it does a great job of that as the Vertigo Bombers come in to clean up the Juggernauts. The artillery versus the air artillery as Juggernauts going down one after another. and the supercharged particle beams will do their damage. Futurama loses his Redeemer. BikeRushOwnz inches his MCV forward. Reinforcements from space are allowing them to keep the pressure off. Futurama and Senna may have run out of gas. BikeRushOwnz and Space may have weathered the storm just long enough. Pressure is keeping up. EMPs landing, trying to shut down those shredder turrets as Senna getting into a mess with his Juggernaut respawning amidst a spider web of shredder turrets on both sides. Avatars in the north getting pushed back. Watchtowers and shredder turrets going toe-to-toe with each other in the south, or in the southern half of this field. Spectre Artillery getting a couple of shots off. EMP lands on the Juggernauts, and can the Awakened actually get the kill? Yes, they can, or rather the Enlightened, as they're actually going to get the kill on 2 Juggernauts. A 3rd Juggernaut might go down as 2 more get EMP'd. Vertigo Bombers coming in. BikeRushOwnz never stopping with the Vertigo Bombers. Cleans up another Harvester, keeping Senna even further down in debt. Unable to claw his way into prosperity. Juggernaut after Juggernaut falling. BikeRushOwnz nearly breaking the artillery reinforcements of Senna. But it's going to be up to his Venoms to actually do that. He gets another kill on a Juggernaut as he kills a Husk as well, stopping the ability for Senna or Futurama to claim those Husks and get an advantage that way. The backstab as Space cuts through the noise and hits the main base of Senna and Futurama, still continuing to press on the front lines. It looks like eventually the shredder turrets do win the day. Futurama and Senna continuing to press on forward. Bikes swinging in from the north, but no, BikeRushOwnz and Space have taken the field in the north, uncontested and easily controlled. Bikes swinging in, BikeRush's Venoms getting cleared out. Senna able to save a couple more of his Juggernauts. Spectres pushing forward. BikeRushOwnz and Space rebuilding their front line. War factories for the repairs and air tower for the refuel of those Vertigos. The Redeemer steps forward. Shockwave artillery firing off. It's going to lock down maybe the other Redeemer. I think it's just outside of the range. Spectre artillery getting dropped by the orbital bombardment as 2 Spectres go down, but the War Factory weathers the storm. Sonic Emitter's not quite with the range to be able to reach that Redeemer, and the refinery finally not going down, actually, as the Redeemer, or as the Vertigos will step away. Vein detonation fires off once again. Harvesters taking some damage and some Juggernauts, I think, going down. The EMP is not factoring into the last couple of minutes of this game. They've definitely been a bit sporadic throughout the match. Futurama has been defeated, hands everything over to Senna, a Marked of Kane GDI player. And is he going to have the firepower to withstand BikeRushOwnz? And, wow, those engineers are actually healing up the Redeemer, but it's a hologram Redeemer, and somehow it's staying alive. What a weird play as it finally goes down. The weird math of the low health of those hologram units. That was such a weird damage absorber, as that is a money shot for that Vertigo Bomber as he cleans up 2 Spectre artilleries with 1 bomb. The Marv is back online as Senna is getting pressured further and further back, pushed inch by Space's artillery away from the front line. Space fueled by this base in the north. There's going to be the scan, the reveal of the missing Tiberium. Where did all of that cash to keep up this attack come from? It came from the north. And the Marv gets closer and closer. A couple of Harvesters remain, but not that much Tiberium. There's more Tiberium back at home for Senna to claim. But it's 2v1. The cash is going to be an immense advantage for Space and BikeRushOwnz. Vector artillery continuing to wear down the base defenses of Senna. Vertigo's making more and more bombing runs, as we saw moments ago. Sonic Emitter gets a fantastic shot off, cleaning up a big chunk of bikes. Marv continues to move forward. Magnetic Mine's doing huge damage. Oh my gosh, so much damage to that Marv. Nearly half the health of that Marv getting eaten up by the Magnetic Mines. I have never actually seen them be that effective as Senna has been defeated. Another fantastically entertaining space BikeRush win against Futurama and Senna. I'm sensing a bit of a theme here. But to be honest, it is not even really like dominating BikeRush. It's not like, oh, Space is just kind of there. Space is the one doing a lot of the heavy lifting in these games. And I think that will be borne out by, yes, this exact graph. Look at that. Even Steven for the first half of the game. I guess BikeRushOwnz had a little bit of a dip in the beginning, but even Steven, and then look at this. Space takes that third field in the north, uncontested, and he just powers on to victory. Senna, I guess, got a big boost after Futurama left and was able to overtake BikeRushOwnz in that case. But Space just powering ahead. So many attack bikes built by this guy. That will do it for this game, for this video. Thank you all very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. And this is Sybert, signing out.